Okay, so it's 9:30, so we're gonna start right on time like we typically do. Good morning, everybody. So Mitz and I were trying to decide what kind of training we want to do because we've always done Moxie basics, present basics, engage, and it's like, okay, let's switch it up a little bit and just do not a full hour, maybe about 35, 40 minutes on how to do an appointment scheduling system and then add it to your websites. Because Google, let me share my screen. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Um, What screen am I on? I am going to desktop 3. And okay, should see my screen now. Mitch, we good? Okay, got it. And I am going to open this up a little bit. So Google a while back introduced what they call an appointment scheduling with Google Calendar. So the basic one is free. And I'm going to walk you through how to set it up and what it's all about. What it allows you to do is have a portal similar to this, similar to Calendly, where a lot of people pay to says, hey, I need something where I can have my availability and people can schedule an appointment to meet with me, which is kind of cool. The cool thing about this entire program, it's free, just the basic one if that's what you want to use. And most agents, I tell them, I said, look, use the free one, figure out if you need it, and then figure out if you need the bells and whistles. Okay. Because there are additional things on it. So the free one, what it does, it allows you to create one booking calendar, which most people, that's all they need. One to get started. And it's pulled together with your Gmail limitations on what you have. And of course, the business plan, if eventually you're like, hey, you know what, my business is growing, I need to have multiple calendars. So the business one, you can look at it on your own pace. But the basic one is this link that I am going to put in chat. Where is my chat? Chat here. That is a link that I just put in the chat. That'll land you to right here and you would get started. Just make sure that when you get started like this, you decide, yes, I'm going to use my personal account. And then you will switch to whichever account you want to get associated with that calendar that you created. Really simple to do just to get started. So we're just going to talk about the calendar part for right now. So let's say I pick my company email address, Bob at Jordan Link. Says, hey, scheduling got easier. So it's going to give you some tips, tells you what's going on, how to do it. You can schedule points, create one booking calendar at no charge. Like I said, most people, that's all they want. Schedule an appointment with me, go there, boom. Then it says you can get automatic updates on conflicts, which is really cool. So what happens is on that one calendar, when I schedule, use that one calendar, I'm going to walk you through it. If I decide that, hey, you know what, I got an appointment that just came up tomorrow at 3, I'm going to meet Mitch for lunch. I'm going to go on my calendar and block it out. When I block it out, it removes it from the online calendar that those timeframes are not available no more, which is kind of cool. The main thing with that is if you're going to use it, you got to start using your Google Calendar. Because remember that Google Calendar also syncs with what? Moxie. So you got to use, if that's what this is what you're going to do, like, okay, if I'm going to use this Calendly type software, then I need to make sure I use it because Moxie events are going to sync into it. My personal events are going to sync to it. And if anybody schedules an appointment, then I'll know if it's available. So conflicts are really easy. It's easy to share your booking page. It's really easy to share. I'm going to show you that also. And then so what it's going to do is when you get started, it says, hey, do you want light mode, dark mode, or device mode? I'm going to keep it light because dark mode just got introduced. And then this is what it's basically showing me at the moment. It says blank. But if you notice right here, next to Bob Patel, there's a little, I can click on that. That is where the calendar is going to show. So basically, I'm going to switch to my personal one that I have because it makes it easier because I've already set it up. So let me switch over to my Gmail calendar before I get and move over to Gmail to my email and to edit. So this is basically what it's going to show you. This section says, hey, what title do you want to give it? So you give it a title. You work your way down these steps. I'm going to go through it. Appointment duration. So if somebody schedules an appointment, how long do you want the appointment? So you can set it. So you can say, if somebody schedules, I want to block off 30 minutes. I want the schedule to be a 30-minute calendar invite that they'll get. So if they schedule it at 3:15, then they will get a confirmation that they've booked an appointment with me from 3:15 to 3:45. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Then once you figure out that, you says, okay, my general availability. And you can set it, do not repeat custom. I set mine to repeat weekly because honestly, for training plus anything else, I don't have time to go every week and adjust it. If I'm using my calendar and adding events to the calendar, it'll automatically block those dates off anyway. Okay, so let's say we're going to do repeat weekly. Then you go in and you start adding your availability. You add one date. So Monday from 11 to 1:30, somebody can book an appointment. From 1:30 to 3:30, I added another time because typically we used to have manager meetings at 2 o'clock that would go till 3:30. I can actually change that. So you know what? Make that from 4 to 5. If you notice at the bottom, it adjusts. It's showing you what availability you're showing. I can decide Monday, I want it from 11 to 12 only. If you notice, that is all that's going to show on the booking calendar, that hour and that hour. Because what you want to do is you want to be realistic when you set up your calendar. Say, look, I don't want it available anytime. And then you're not paying attention to your calendar, which makes no sense. Okay. So you adjust, okay, you know what? Typically Mondays from 11 to 12:30, I'm free. And since we don't have manager meetings no more, or I'm not part of that group, I can decide, you know what, I'm going to change this from 2. So this way, from 12:30 to 2, if I decide to go to lunch or something, then I know that nobody's going to accidentally schedule an appointment that I didn't see. If you needed to add another time frame, let's say Tuesday from 1 to 3, I can hit the plus mark and I can add another time and say from 4 to 5. I want to be available. So what you do is you're setting this up on what dates you might be available, and I'm going to show you how to adjust it. When you go down, you says, okay, what time zone am I? Because then everybody will know that am I in New York time, California time, etc. So hopefully we're all good so far. Mitch, are we good so far? Looks like, I mean, it's really simple. Just follow the steps. Okay. Then we go down to adjust availability. These dates you can add in and says, I'm not available on a specific day and a specific time. So I can go in and block off when I'm going to on vacation. I can block it off. So there'll be no calendar appointment showing. I can block off a holiday and nobody will know because in here I blocked off specific dates. So I can block off dates that I'm not available. Then if you look down here, it says booked appointment settings. So what it's saying is if somebody schedules a 30-minute meeting, give me a 15-minute buffer before. So if I schedule an appointment at 3, my calendar is going to show, let's say Mitt scheduled it 3 to 3:30. That means if my calendar is open from 3 to 5, somebody can't schedule at 3:30. It gives me a 15-minute buffer just in case we go over. So a lot of times, some people will say, you know what if I just switch it to 30? So basically, if you're only available for 2 hours, that means technically somebody can only schedule 2 meetings because of the buffer. So the buffer is really cool. So you're like, okay, you know what? That meeting ran over and I don't have somebody else waiting to get on a meeting. Really cool. So once you adjust these, and it's easy to go back and adjust it. So you add the buffer time. So I'm going to put this back to 15 for now. Oh, that didn't make sense. 15. And this is just the main setup page. We haven't gone to the second page. So we work our way down to settings, 15 minutes. Then let's say you have your day open. You can decide by checking this little box, maximum days. You can decide that I only want one booking per day. You can decide how many bookings you'll take per day. So if you opened up your whole day, let's say Thursdays, you know what, Thursdays, I don't usually have anything going. So anybody can schedule an appointment anytime on Thursday because I have nothing happening. But I only want them to be able to take two bookings. So the minute two appointments are taken for that day, the whole calendar's full. It all depends on what you want to do, but ideally you play around with it to say, okay, but typically if you shorten your time frame, they can't book it anyway. If you shorten it 30 minutes, 30-minute duration, you're like, okay, well, gives me some time. And then this box, guest permission, that means a guest, if somebody schedules an appointment with you, they can invite a guest. Or you may decide, you know what, let me leave it for now. Whoever schedules it, I only want to talk to them until I get comfortable. Or what you do is if you're in your own office, like Mitch, let's say Mitch hasn't used this yet, he'll have somebody in the office schedule an appointment and figure out, let me enable that and see how they invite somebody else and how will I get notified. So the main thing with this is if you set this up, have agents in your own office, hey, schedule an appointment. I want to see what it looks like. This way you get comfortable, okay? And you right here at the bottom, remember the free one calendar. So what Google says, if you are going to use the free one, and let me go to my Google Calendar. Let me get out of this one. Go to calendar. Of course, in calendars, you can create different calendars. If most of you are using Gmail, you can. It uses your primary. So Bob Patel's my primary calendar for this Gmail account. So what it says is you are scheduling using Bob Patel. I can't select multiple, only one, which is fine because all I want to do is that one. I don't need multiple for now because I want to make sure I'm managing what I'm doing because this is the same calendar right here, your main calendar that Moxie Engage syncs to. So why would I want two for now? Whatever events I add in Engage, they show up on my calendar. I haven't checked to see if I schedule an appointment on Moxie Engage for an appointment at 2 o'clock on my calendar. Will it remove it from the booking calendar? I believe it will because it gets added to my calendar. Then my booking calendar will show that time frame not available, which is kind of cool. So I can just manage one. Okay, so this is basically, remember, when you start with the link that you got onto your email, figure out the duration. How long do you want to spend with somebody? Some people may say, hey, I want to create short 15-minute meetings. Great, switch it to 15, but then I'm going to set what dates. I'm going to limit to what it is. And you set it up, and then you may decide that, hey, you know what, but I want a 30-minute buffer. So if that 15-minute goes over, I still have about 20, 30 minutes if I need to catch up on something because I got some phone calls that came in and I can adjust myself instead of leaving it wide open and you get all stressed out. That's the last thing I want any of you guys to do. And then you won't use it. The idea is start small, open up a few dates, share it on social media. Hey, if anybody's looking to speak with me, blah, 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 about looking to sell your home, please book an appointment. Whatever you want to do. But limit yourself short until you get a system going. Once you set all this up, you're going to go next. And then it says, hey, what do you want to call this? It says book an appointment. Perfect. Book an appointment it is. So if you notice, mine says book an appointment right here, book an appointment. And of course, I've added it to my Moxie account. So I'm going to show you how. Then it says, hey, booking page photo and name. So you could add a picture in person, and then you decide, okay, on this booking page, you can add a picture. So you got your picture, fine. Location. So you decide all the meetings, are they going to be in person? And what's the address? So if I do that, it says right here, location. Because we're meeting in face to face at the office. I am not doing over Zoom. Somebody take my time. If they want to schedule an appointment with me, they're going to come see me. Plus, I want to see who they are. Okay, so that's me. And typically this calendar, once I establish it, will be my agents anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Or you can says, I want to do it via Google Meet. So if somebody scheduled it, it's going to set up a Google Meet, and then we're going to go through Google Meet video conferencing. All depends on what's good for you. In person, do I want it phone call only? I'm just going to call Mitz at 3 o'clock. Hey, Mitz, what's happening? How can I help you today? Or are we going to get on a conference call? Or is Mitz going to have to drive down and meet me in person? You got to decide which direction you want to go, whatever works for you. Some of you that are super, super busy may want a phone call. I understand that. Some of you that are brand spanking new, if it was me, I'd want to meet them in person. Okay, so you decide to set up. I'm going to say in person. Then here it gives you an option to describe your services. It says, hey, this is where you would put your description, and that is what would show up here. Thank you for visiting my booking page. If you're looking to buy, sell, blah, 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 invest in real estate. So you're putting a little bit of like, oh, okay, I should book an appointment because now I know what this is in relations to. Good so far, Mitz? Okay, so we're going to in-person description, then the form, booking form. It says, hey, let me get rid of this one and save. Go back to here. I'm going to go back to pencil and go back to next. So the booking form typically will start off with first name, last name, email address, and phone number. So if I go here and somebody goes to book, remember I had a reason. So that is showing up, reason for appointment. I'm going to refresh my screen. I'm going to go to book an appointment. That field's gone. So right now, the fields are give me your first name, your last name, email address, and your phone number. Okay. So when somebody clicks that, those are the four fields. You can decide I need to add another item since it's not phone number or it's custom. Reason for meeting, something like that. And you can say, I want it required. I want those individuals, I'm going to save this again, that if they schedule an appointment, they have to fill out why they want to meet. So if you list in here what services, at least you get an idea. I'm looking to buy. Okay, great. Now I know I have a mind frame that when I have a meeting with Mitz at 11:30, he's looking to buy. So reason, whatever additional information, you can actually add it. So let me get back in here. And this is how easy it is to edit your calendar. You go back to your regular calendar and find these little calendar things you see because those are on your booking calendar. You just click on it and hit edit. And then you go back to editing your calendar, which is really super simple to do. We go back to next. Okay, so your booking calendar is right there. This is what we added. There's plans for email verification. We're going to skip that. Payments not required. So what this says, this is for premium. So if you wanted somebody to book an appointment and there's a fee, you do that. We're not even going to get into fees. That's a little too much for me right now. So we're going to skip the fees and then you're going to go to booking confirmation reminders. So what that says is, hey, calendar in booking information reminders, it is yes. And so when it says you and the person who made the appointment will get a confirmation email with a calendar invitation. So that is automatically set. So I want to show you how that works. So if I go in here and let's say I schedule for 11:30 tomorrow and Bob tell this is how you get the confirmation info at if I can type I would be okay at jordanlink.com 559-733-9696 my office number looking to sell my home. Okay, I do that and I hit book. Okay, email confirmation was sent to info@jordanlink.com, which is the account that I am setting this up. If I go to my Gmail and go to here, it says appointment booked. That's how fast it says. Here it is. It's short because I scheduled it. See, so it's showing here. I can decide, yes, accept it. And if I look at my booking calendar, see, it's taken off the calendar. 11:15, 11:30 is gone. If for some reason the I decide I don't want it, whoever scheduled it, or maybe if I hit no, and if I go back to my booking calendar here, watch, 11:30 comes back on the schedule. If I go back and say, you know what, I'll take it. And I go back to my booking calendar and refresh that again, 11:30 is gone. It updates really fast. It's really cool. So you can accept it or not accept it, or you can decide, you know what, it's on my calendar. Let me call Bob. Let me verify before I actually, okay, well, then we'll see you tomorrow at 11:30. If not, you go cancel. No. And that calendar opens up. So once you set all this up, you hit save. Now you're back to this. Okay. When you click on this calendar section right here, it says, hey, do we want to open up the booking page? See, this is the edit one. To trash it, open up the booking page. If you open up the booking page, this is an actual booking page that you can share out. This is on Google. So this is my calendar appointment. People can go through and say, you know what, let me see when I want to book an appointment. What we are looking at is saying, well, I want to share it. Because at the end of the day, you got a website, for God's sake, send them to your website. I want to share it. Well, do you want to send somebody the link and put it in your email address? You could do that. But if you're going to add it to your Moxie website, then you want on your Gmail signature book an appointment to go to the page that's on your website that has this calendar. Because now they're on your website instead of just sharing that. So then what you would do is you would select embed. We good so far, Mitz? Once you set it up, we hit embed. It says, okay, do you want a button? So the cool thing about this is if I go to my website, visit Bob Patel. Wait, why are you not letting me in? Hang tight here. Hopefully I didn't sign myself out. Visit. There you are. Let's say, well, I can't do it here. This I'm redoing my page, so that doesn't help. But let's say I wanted to add a button somewhere. Builder. And give me a second. Probably a bad example. I am going to bear with me. I'm going to go to, did I create a contact about me? Bio. Contact me. Resources. I just go in here. So what it is if I go in here and pop up with a button with a pop-up, I take that. It's a book an appointment. It's gonna be blue. I'm gonna leave the standard color. I need this code. I'm gonna copy this code. That's all you're gonna do is copy this code right there. Then I'm gonna go into here, add an HTML code, and I'm gonna paste that. If you notice, there's a little button that says contact me. Good so far, Mitch? I want to make sure I don't lose anybody. And if I click that, no, not that one. Oh, there it is, the blue one, because I selected the blue color. If I click that, it's going to pop up a window to contact me. It all depends on where you put that little button. So you can put it on your homepage, you can put it underneath you. So you're like, okay, you know what? I could put that button on if I have a custom about me page. Go ahead. Did you raise your hands for me? Can't hear you. Hit the space bar. No? Okay. So this is how you would do that one. But what we're going to look at is doing when you're on your Moxie website, you're going to go to new page. Or if you're on the back end where you are regularly on your own account, admin home, when you're in here, you can go to brand new page. It's always going to be a page because we want it added to the menu. You're going to leave it to custom. All you're going to do is hit submit. You're going to call it book an appointment. Hit enter. So now what it does is saves the URL, bobpatel.net/book an appointment. I want that. We are going to go to Builder. Simple so far? Builder. Really easy to do. We are going to go right into here. Okay. I am going to drag an HTML box, but first we're going to go here and say I need a embed, but I don't want a button. Okay. So we are going to embed on the website and Google Calendar to your codes, copy, book an appointment, inline booking page. You guys with me so far? Not a link. When you go to embed, you're going to pick inline booking page because we don't want a button. When you select that, it gives you this code right here. We're going to copy that. We're going to go to book an appointment. On a blank page, you're going to drag the HTML widget under the plus sign. You get under modules, HTML, and just drag it here. In here, you're going to right click and paste that code, and you're going to hit save. And now your booking calendar and hit done, publish just to see how it looks. Showing up right here. I don't like the way it looks. They have to go this way, back and forth. So what you can do is go to Builder, and when you hit this code, look right here. It says height 600 pixels. 600. Let's say 600 inches, whichever way you want to do. So I only got a little bit of scroll down. So I'm going to change that 600 to 900. And yep, 900 is a little too much. Well, it's fine. Hit save, hit done, and publish. I'm telling it, I need you to go this high. And now look, right there. So now what you do is you just go to bobpatel.org, excuse me, wrong way. You go to that URL, add it to your Gmail calendar, Gmail signature, or share it online. Hey, if anybody's looking to buy or sell a home today, book an appointment. Visit the link below, whatever you want to do. But this whole system, super, super easy to set up. And if you guys have any questions, I don't have a problem if you reach out. Please do. Me and Mitch are both on the Facebook group. You'll find us in there and just send me a message. But this is really simple to do. Just basic, just a calendar booking appointment that you can utilize. Now, let's say right now, 12 o'clock, 12:30 on Friday's open. If I go to my calendar, which is this one, and I'm like, okay, well, we got Friday wide open right there. This is wide open till 3 o'clock. Friday till 3 o'clock because you can't schedule it at 3 because my calendar stops. I can just go in and technically add an appointment and say out to, or let's say lunch appointment because doing a lunch. We're going, Mitch is buying me lunch, so we're going to do that. We're going to go from 11:30 probably till 1:30. I'm going to be at the office. I'm going to hit save. I added it to my main calendar. If I open up the booking calendar, and remember, we were Friday. Let me go back to main one, Friday. And 11:30 to 2:30 is open now. I can decide, you know what? Let me take this and just drag it over. Okay. If I go here, give it a second, they're gone. Nobody can book appointment. The cool thing about the booking appointment also, you guys, is if I go into it and edit it, there is a section. I thought I mentioned it. This one, scheduling availability. I can tell it that you have to schedule, you can't schedule more than 60 days out. I'm like, no, I don't want you to schedule that far out anyway. I want you to schedule 14 days out. Why are you doing that? It's the weirdest thing. Get out. But I can set 24 hours. I can say if somebody doesn't schedule within 24 hours, so right now, let's say if somebody goes to schedule an appointment for Monday, if they don't do it by Sunday, 10 a.m., 11 o'clock is gone. So at least I'll always know I have a 24-hour heads up of an appointment. You can decide you want to change that to 24 hours and say, oh, 48 hours. So you know that, hey, I need 2 days advance notice before I get on a call with somebody because maybe I forgot appointments. So that is the cool thing about that. Nobody can schedule an appointment right now for 30 minutes from now, which really helps you learning the system, learning how to use this free software without paying for it. And once you get familiar, this is basically, honestly, all you're going to need. You just got to learn how to manage your Google Calendar, like I said, because it's synced to your Engage calendar, which is where you should be putting in all your appointments of whatever's happening in your schedule to you have a schedule. I have a call calling or we're doing role playing. You need to start adding those in the schedule so you start creating a plan. Okay. So, do we have any questions? This is what's going to be short and simple. It's super, super easy. What'd you say, Mitz?
All right, there was a couple questions. Shanna had a question about being able to schedule the times. The times are all flexible, right? You can schedule any duration of time in the morning different than the afternoon,
So right,
hours versus it's
so right here, if you look on the left when you first start, I can say I need to start any appointments I get scheduled. I want them to be a minimum of 30, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours. So now see how it just widens up. If I go to an
Mhm.
hour, you can notice there's only one appointment, how many appointments you can schedule because of the time slot. Plus, only reason this 2 hour slot only allows me to schedule one is because I said, hey, I want an hour appointment, but I need a 30-minute delay.
Buffer.
So that means
Mhm.
somebody can only schedule one appointment. So the agent will decide, hey, do I want to take 15 minutes appointments or 30 minutes? And then how much of a lag do I want before the next appointment? And then this is where they add I'm not available on Saturdays. I'm not available on Sundays. Wednesdays, I blocked out because I'm usually typically at another office and I don't want to even deal with that. And then you add what times or the agents, the ones that are going to start using it say, hey, look, be realistic and says, okay, typically in the mornings, I'm always free. Okay, good. Then schedule, only open up the mornings, knowing that maybe you're going to be out and about in the afternoon until you get familiar with this calendar. I know as much as all of you, you have good intentions, but updating that calendar is probably not on the priority. So that's what I would do. This is where you schedule what time frames you want. If I don't want Fridays at all, I just take it out. Boom, it's off. That means nobody can schedule anything on a Friday. Or you go into Friday and says, add, you know what, but Fridays I'm usually out, but I'm more free in the afternoons because I'm at the office. So I can take any appointments between 1 and 5. So now it adds between 1 and 5, but I only want 15 minutes appointments with a 15-minute lag. So now, but I also said I only want two per day.
Got it.
Once I have two, they're all gone. Wow. Gee, those balloons come from. So that's where you would you would set this up on how you want this and whatever availability you want. Hopefully that answered your question, Shanna. Okay. You
Bob,
want go
one
ahead.
more question. I believe it's Dejanay Bell had a question, and maybe if you can get her off mute. Do you need a new copy over time you change availability? I'm not sure if I understand that question. If she can elaborate on that, that'd be great.
Give me a second. I will participants. I just said it, they can unmute themselves.
Okay.
Okay. My question was regarding when he was changing the code to put into the Moxie webpage. I was saying once you
Oh,
change settings inside of the Google Calendar, do you have to change the link or update the link every time?
No,
no.
once you embed that calendar onto your Moxie site, whatever changes you is still the same calendar. You don't ever have to change that. You're just modifying them. When am I available, not available, what's my time frames. But that, no, once that, unless you delete that booking calendar, that will always be the same code, the same button, the same URL.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And
Hey, Bob.
And has a recording. It's on the YouTube channel. Oh, Mitt's already put it in the YouTube channel, and that's where we put our recordings. There's nowhere else to put it at the moment, but that's where we've started cataloging all of the other Moxie trainings we've been doing. So you'll find it in there.
Hey, Bob, I've got a question actually.
Go ahead.
So the embedded code that you pull from the calendar and everything, I assume you could also build that on a page for Moxie Present, correct?
Absolutely.
Awesome. That is so cool.
If you're creating a custom page on your Moxie Present, you would add the little button and say source, punch in this code. So then on a custom page in your Moxie Present, there's a booking calendar.
Awesome. That'd be
Book an
so
appointment.
cool.
So you can add it somewhere in your presentation, or maybe right before your bio at the end. Um,
Uh-huh.
and so now somebody can book an appointment if you're trying to go after a listing.
Yeah, I mean, for a
Buyer.
regular presentation, I don't think you would need it, but like an unsolicited presentation that you're sending to a client or something, that would be awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
if you're interested in me coming over, book a time. I love that. I love that.
Well, it just shows that you understand technology a little bit, even though you're like, I don't know how I set it up, but as long as I get a notification that somebody scheduled an appointment, I have it on my calendar, which is cool. As long as you're using that calendar. Now, if you're using a different calendar altogether and not using your Google Calendar, it's not going to help.
Yeah, got it. That's great. I think that's neat.
Anything else today? Shanna, you all good over there? You're quiet.
Yeah, no, I guess my question was like, I guess pertaining like to the appointment slot, but it looked like by the way you were trying to adjust it. Like I didn't know if from, 9 to 11, I can make it so that the appointment times are 30-minute increments, but maybe in the afternoon, I don't want my appointment times long. So I adjust my appointment times in the afternoon to 30 or 45-minute increments or whatever.
This will only do it calendar wide.
Yeah, so that's what it looked like. You didn't
So the
have.
best thing to do is schedule it, let's say 30, because that's the minimum you want,
Hmm.
right? And then when you go to, where was that? Um, where was that booking form?
Down under description.
Booking form, no. My God, I just lost it. Where did I lose it? Right here, duration. Oh, you got your duration. Never mind. Not the duration. Um, right here. How
Uh-huh.
much lag do I want before the next appointment? So if I change this to 30, if somebody schedules a 30-minute appointment, the next 30 minutes are blocked.
Hmm.
So then you're like, it's okay if I go over 15.
Yeah, it gives you that flexibility to maybe be
So you
longer
you
or
decide that I want this to be 30, and see now there's a 30-minute gap anytime somebody schedules an appointment, you have a 30-minute gap. So that might solve that little problem. Said, you know what, I'll just put in a 30-minute gap and our minimum appointment schedules I want is 30 minutes. And if I get done in 15, oh well, I got 45 minutes that I can just get other things done.
And I guess my only other question would be, so as far as I know in the beginning you were talking a little bit about adding additional people. So, I'm thinking like if I have a spouse or like maybe a third party is going to be in like a title company or whatever, do you have the option to allow them to book as well, or to share the link with them, or
So
how would
what it was in the setting, calendar booking settings, 30-minute buffer, check availability. There was a section because me and I just showed, let me go back. Where was that setting? Availability. Maybe it's on the next one. Confirmation and reminders. Okay, that's your confirmation. In-person meeting. I just had it earlier. Where did it go? In-person meeting, photo. Really? Um, I can't remember locate where that was. There was an option that you would check that the person that's sending the invite can invite somebody else.
okay.
But that's odd. I don't know why I don't see it.
I think Jessica just mentioned that the booked appointment setting at the bottom. Booked appointment setting. There you go.
Oh, right there.
There you
Uh-huh.
go.
Okay, so yes, so
Thank you,
that
Jessica.
then gives you a link that you could share with somebody else so that they could be at the appointment also, I guess.
Well, I'm glad Jessica's paying attention. If I had a prize, I'd give you a prize, Jess. Thank you.
It's a star on the wall.
There you go. You're my number one. Next, you better be here at every meeting.
This is helpful. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
like this.
So,
Yeah.
any other questions on this? It's really super simple to do. Once you get it on your website, you're like, okay, it's there. I can tweak all the settings here, and there's very limited. If you go step by step, one by one, and you're like, okay, I got it, and then you can tweak it. It's actually, I mean, it's kind of cool to have that on your website to book an appointment because
Mhm.
you're showing that, hey, people can schedule appointments, but it's free. I mean, I get so many agents are using Calendly and stuff like, why? This is free. It's basically enough for what most people want to do.
Mhm.
True.
So
True.
there's no comments. We are going to sign out and come up. If any of you have any specific topics or trainings you want me or Mitch to do, because we do it for our brokerage also, please shoot us an email through Facebook and say, "Hey Bob, can you do a training on X, Y, and Z?" And then this way it helps us figure out what kind of content we want to do because it's super hard trying to figure out what is it that we want to train every week. I'd rather bring something new that somebody wants to learn, but I'm going to look at more tools that are free that we can integrate into our website to enhance them. So until next week, no questions. We're going to sign out.
Hey Bob, why don't you flash up your email address on the chat? That way everyone can save it, and maybe if they think of a topic, they can email it to you.
Why didn't you put your email address in the
Well,
chat?
I will do that too if you like, okay?
Sheesh, always just passing the buck.
Hey Bob, I have a
Well,
quick question for you.
Yes.
When it comes to, I know that this is a new feature for Google, but will this now allow us to add it to our Google business page as well? Because before we could not add, they didn't have this link. It was another link. I can't think of what it was, but they had a specific link built in and you could not add Calendly.
Right. So I don't remember if is that option still there in the Google Calendar? I mean in your Google My Business?
Yes, it's still there, but I just don't know. I was trying to see if this
Yes.
option will now be added.
Yes, you should be able to add it. You would actually go to um save this, click on your book an appointment section on your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I need to share, and you're gonna get a link. That link is what you're going to put in.
Got it. Okay.
This is the same link you would put in just like you would do, say, hey, book an appointment today on your Gmail calendar, and then add that as the link when somebody clicks on it.
Okay.
Then this way it goes to your if you wanted to go to that calendar. Now, if you decide you wanted to go here, then of course you're going to go to your website slash whatever page you created and added the calendar.
Okay.
Now depends on where you want to send them.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so
Thank
you guys have my email and Mitz's. So you guys have an amazing day and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome. Bye, guys. Thanks, Shanna.